And now the floodgates are open. Credible sources, including former high-ranking intel officials, have corroborated to our next guest that the U.S. military is in possession of at least a dozen alien spaceships.
A dozen.
And reportedly, both our government and private aerospace companies are trying to reverse engineer the ships. One source even said, we're trying to fly these ships. Let's bring in Michael Schellenberger, the founder of Public, on Substack.
A dozen?
So what are these sources telling you? We got 12 ships. What do these suckers look like, Mike?
Good to be with you, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, the descriptions range from the classic disc shape to the triangular shape to another person described one of the ships as sort of a modified Huey helicopter or deep sea submarine. These are all people that are sane, highly intelligent, in positions to know, and also cleared at very high levels of security clearance. They were very anxious in speaking with me. I protected their identities, didn't even reveal their genders or the institutions that they work for, but they all felt compelled to speak out in response to this whistleblower who you just quoted, who made those extraordinary claims, and they verified the core claims that indeed the U.S. government does have non-human spacecraft.
And how do you have a dozen just somewhere, bro? A dozen? I know that may not seem a lot to some people, but to me, that's a lot. That's a lot, bro. UFO just a dozen. Man, come on, man. Listen, before we get back to the video, man, I need y'all to help me unplug some more people out of the Matrix, all right? So we can keep diving into this stuff like this, man. So you do that by hitting the like button, then putting hashtag unplugged in the comment section. If you're new, subscribe.
What exactly is the U.S. government doing with this spacecraft?
They say that, and it sounds crazy, but it is what they say, that the U.S. government has been working to reverse engineer these technologies for many decades, and that the high levels of security has made that very difficult. One person described an effort to involve a broader set of scientists and engineers to cut through the stovepipes in this person's language, and that proposal was rejected. It was made through a major aerospace corporation. And, you know, what I would emphasize here is that I think we can't have it both ways. If you think there's nothing there, then you should have no objection to Congress representing the American people and finding out. The claims are that these are real objects and that they exist at military bases and with military contractors. So if they're not there, then nobody should object to people looking, including in unannounced visits. But you can't say that there's nothing there and we shouldn't look. I think that's no longer credible. I mean, as one of the persons said to me, the toothpaste is out of the tube. And I think that with the awareness that this may exist, that's enough of a justification for Congress to look into it.
Absolutely, and they should. Have any of your sources described seeing any extraterrestrials?
Yes, one of them did, but I kept it out of the story because for a variety of reasons, I wanted to make sure that we were able to focus on verifying, including with some of the same sources that David Grush also heard.
Then you're no better than anybody else with withholding information from us. I'm sorry. Like, you're doing the same thing we're criticizing the government for doing. Keeping information from us. That was a great question by the reporter. He got him right there.
From just to verify that there is a very large number of people that are in positions to know who say that there are indeed non-human craft. And at this point, I'm not really comfortable talking about some of the other details that I was told.
Okay. And it's not James Carville, it's actual extraterrestrials?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds absolutely crazy. And by the way, I should say, I continue to keep an open mind in both directions. I think everybody should. I think what's changed here is that you have a growing number of people who say this has gone on for long enough. We should not be subject to rumors. We are a democracy. We have control of our military and our intelligence agencies. And if they are hiding something from us, we need to find out. We're big boys and girls, and it may be shocking, the information, but it's our right to know that information. It should not be held from us.
All right. Great reporting. Thank you so much, Michael.
Alfred Al Warden, a prominent figure in the annals of space exploration, was a US astronaut best known for his integral role in the Apollo 15 mission. His impressive career, marked by numerous accolades and firsts, reflects the spirit of exploration and scientific discovery. Born in 1932 in Jackson, Michigan, Warden showed an early interest in aviation. After graduating from the US Military Academy at West Point, he joined the US Air Force, where he served as a pilot, ultimately amassing over 4,000 hours of flight time. He later earned master's degrees in astronautical and aeronautical engineering and instrumentation engineering from the University of Michigan, reflecting his commitment to education and his passion for space. Warden was selected for NASA's astronaut group in 1966, during the height of the Apollo program. His initial role involved supporting the Apollo 9 and Apollo 12 missions from the ground, gaining invaluable experience before his assignment as the command module pilot for Apollo 15 in 1971. Apollo 15 was NASA's fourth manned mission to land on the Moon, but unlike the previous missions, it focused more on scientific exploration. Throughout history, the notion that humans were created by advanced beings has served as a source of inspiration for numerous authors and researchers. Despite being considered as far-fetched by mainstream science, a wealth of compelling evidence has been discovered worldwide by researchers to support this theory. Those who believe in this research have said that there's a significant link between the development of civilizations and advanced entities, and that this is evident in the historical accounts preserved in ancient manuscripts and clay tablets that have endured for millennia. During an interview with Good Morning Britain, Al Warden shared intriguing thoughts on the existence of advanced life. In addition to his space exploration endeavors, Warden expressed a belief in the theory that humans have ancestral connections to ancient advanced beings. During a 2017 appearance on the British television program Good Morning Britain, he delivered a surprising response to a question about the justification for spending significant funds on space exploration in the midst of numerous challenges plaguing our planet. Specifically, he was queried about his belief in the existence of advanced life. His unexpected answer likely caught the attention of everyone watching the interview. The ex-Apollo 15 astronaut stated that aliens not only exist, but they also visited Earth in ancient times and played a role in the creation of our civilization.
Now, here you have someone who's highly decorated. They listed off all his accolades, willing to put his reputation on the line on TV or whatever it was, the interview, and say that, make that bold of a statement. People aren't just doing that. People aren't just, you got to imagine how much flight school he went to, how much schooling he went through. Not everybody's willing to just, you know what I mean, destroy that. So that's what I be thinking about when I try to figure out if somebody's credible. Should I believe him or not, or should I give them a chance to listen to him? Look at his credibility.
Ancient times, and played a role in the creation of our civilization. To find evidence supporting this claim, one simply needs to examine ancient Sumerian literature. Based on his statements, he held strong faith in the ancient texts of Sumerian civilization. These scriptures depict a time when humans and deities coexisted, with humans serving as the subjects of the gods, and each Sumerian city having its own divine protector. The oldest known account of a Sumerian creation myth was discovered on a tablet unearthed in Nippur, an ancient Mesopotamian city, in 1893. Based on ancient cuneiform tablets, it is believed that Earth was initially governed by deities who resembled humans. These divine beings, upon their arrival on Earth, transformed the planet into a hospitable environment through agricultural cultivation and mining of valuable resources. Moreover, the tablets make reference to a conflict that arose between the gods and their working class. Al Warden said the following: "We are the aliens, but we just think they are somebody else. But we are the ones who came from somewhere else, because somebody else had to survive, and they got into little spacecrafts, and then they came here and landed, and they started civilization here. And if you don't believe me, go get books on ancient Sumerians and see what they had to say. They'll tell you right up front." End quote. Al Warden passed away shortly after this interview. The ancient Sumerians were not only pioneers in fields such as writing, agriculture, and law, but also held intricate beliefs about the origins of humanity. These beliefs, documented in various myths and religious texts, provide fascinating insights into Sumerian cosmology and their understanding of the world. Sumerian mythology paints a rich and vivid picture of the cosmos. At the beginning, they believed, there existed only the primeval sea, which gave birth to heaven and earth. These cosmic entities in turn bore several deities, forming the Sumerian pantheon. Among these were the Anunnaki, a group of deities who were the primary figures in Sumerian cosmology and were instrumental in the creation of humanity. One of the most crucial texts describing human origins is the myth of Enki and Ninmah. According to this narrative, the gods, burdened by the toil of shaping the earth, implored Enki, the god of wisdom and water, to devise a solution. In response, Enki and the birth goddess Ninmah created humans from clay. These beings were intended to bear the labor of the gods, allowing the divine beings to live in leisure. In these stories, the Sumerians depicted humans as being inherently linked to the divine, yet subordinate to it. We were created from the same earth that the gods had shaped, and our primary function was to serve the divine. The Sumerians believed their cities were owned by gods, and that their kingship descended from heaven, reinforcing this notion of serving the divine. Another Sumerian text, the Eridu Genesis, presents a similar narrative, highlighting the Sumerians' view of a direct relationship between gods and humans. However, it also introduces the concept of a catastrophic flood sent by the gods, where only a few selected individuals are saved, a motif that would recur in later Mesopotamian and Abrahamic traditions. It is important to note that Sumerian myths offer different versions and names regarding the creation of humans, reflecting the city-state-based nature of Sumerian civilization, where local deities and myths held sway. Yet, the common thread running through these narratives is the depiction of humanity's creation as a divine act, and humans as beings intended to serve the gods. Enki, a central figure in ancient Sumerian mythology, is a god renowned for his wisdom, creative power, and association with water. His character and narratives significantly influenced Sumerian cosmology, social structure, and understanding of humanity's purpose. Enki, also known as Ea in Akkadian mythology, was believed to reside in the Abzu, the freshwater sea beneath the earth. As the lord of this subterranean aquatic realm, Enki held dominion over all forms of water, including rivers, wells, and rainfall. This association with life-giving water underpinned his role as a fertility god, vital to agriculture in the Sumerian civilization. Beyond his connection to water, Enki was revered as the god of wisdom and intelligence. He was believed to possess the Mi, divine decrees that formed the foundation of civilization, encompassing elements such as social norms, moral codes, technological knowledge, and arts. Enki's possession of the Mi made him integral to the functioning and maintenance of societal order and progress in Sumerian belief. In the Sumerian creation myth, Enki played a crucial role. As mentioned in the myth Enki and Ninmah, the gods, burdened by the labor of crafting the world, appealed to Enki for a solution.
The academic paradigm in regards to the chronological history of man, the claimed, continued, warts and all documented, completely linear journey to the modern day, from a claimed birthplace upon the continent of Africa to the caves of Europe and Asia, becoming post-Ice Age Neoliths, all somehow mysteriously capable of incredible feats, all mysteriously deciding to build similar structures in similar ways of similar size, with no explanation even attempted. All this claimed as having happened and fully known of without a single gap. An institutional castle built from nothing but sand. The Bering Strait is home to a theory of the same name, crucial to this evolutionary tale of human development. Yet what resulted from research done by a handful of highly capable individuals of integrity, it is a site which proves beyond doubt that.
So this is the journey of mankind map. This is crazy when you look at it. I don't even know where to begin. You know what I mean? I don't even know where to begin on this. But I want to come back and look at this chart, though, for real. It says 10,000 to 8,000, the final collapse of the Ice Age, herald the dawn of the agriculture, the Sahara grassland as implied by the life-size giraffe, petroglyphs in Niger. And that's it. But I want to dig into this chart a little more.
That the Bering Strait theory is nothing but a lie, one which those who profit from this current paradigm due to steel have been revealed spending great efforts in protecting it from the truth, a truth mutated into a perceived conspiracy. The Bering Strait was a frozen landmass connecting continents, crucial in explaining primitive man's travel across them. A modern historical paradigm, not only explaining the migration of man to the rest of the world, but it must have been at a particular specific time in history to fit currently funded scholarly accepted opinion on the development of man. Virginia Steen McIntyre, however, found fossils, stone tools, and strata dating back 200,000 years earlier than academically accepted. She was told to either repeat the excavation and provide fitting dates, or her findings would be thrown out. She stood by her—
Hey, bro, they just call you a liar just like that? You gotta be lying. Go back and redo it, or just come clean and confess. Huh? Bro, they do you dirty in this field.
research and eventually lost her funding. However, it seems that Virginia had a knack for studying areas which are clearly, if historical teachings be inaccurate, highly controversial areas of archaeological interest, for she was seemingly a thorn in their sides with her other previous research and subsequent discoveries too, specifically those made at other sites such as Hueyatlaco, an archaeological site in the Valsequillo Basin near the city of Puebla, Mexico.
So you go against them, then they try to ruin your credibility and destroy you, your character, everything like that. It's crazy how they did her.
After excavations in the 1960s, the site became notorious due to geochronologist analysis from the research done in conjunction with Steele and others also indeed indicated that human habitation at Hueyatlaco dated to as far back as 250,000 years ago. Wikipedia states regarding these finds, quote, "These controversial findings are orders of magnitude older than the scientific consensus for habitation of the New World, which generally traces widespread human migration to the New World to a maximum of 13,000 to 16,000 years ago." End quote. Although these two sites are a considerable distance from one another, they are crucial for the chronological storyline of modern claims regarding timelines of human migration/habitation dates, which they want to be perceived as far back within antiquity as being 13,000 years ago. However, this evidence proves that humans had already established these landmasses more than 250,000 years ago. Although Wikipedia predictably attempts retorts to these claims, to their credit, they have listed a vast array of incredibly talented, highly qualified specialists, along with their own testimonies and personal investigative conclusions, supporting the work of Virginia Steele McIntyre. It's also to its credit that they note the harassment received by these pioneers, who literally threw the rules out of the window in pursuit of the truth. Quote, Steen McIntyre claims that some of the original research team were harassed, viewed as incompetent, or saw their careers hampered due to their involvement in such a controversial and anomalous investigations. End quote. She would eventually lose access to funding, lambasted for her finds and claims never ceasing. Regardless of these attacks, we find Virginia and the many other courageous individuals commendable in their search for the truth. And they are undoubtedly areas which they have debunked with artifacts and dates, evidence so passionately argued as lies, it is almost complimentary to her ability. This controversy is, to us, undoubtedly highly compelling.
That's insane they would do that.
A set of the world's most alluring artifacts, possessing the power to create religions, snaring many a Hollywood figure with their mysticism and rumoured possible alien origins. Firstly, how does one tell a real crystal skull from a fake? There are always artists capable of making and selling things that seem old, says anthropologist Jane McLaren Walsh of the Smithsonian Museum. And she should know. Walsh has seen her share of fakes. In fact, she's probably seen more crystal skulls than anyone else alive, subsequently becoming the leading academic on the subject. A stern skeptic with a ruthless ethic, only the most puzzling will convince Jane. Another major player in the skull game, according to Walsh, was Frederick Arthur Mitchell Hedges, an English stockbroker turned adventurer, who in 1943 began displaying a skull at dinner parties which he called the Skull of Doom. His daughter Anna later claimed that he had found the skull in a ruined temple in Belize during the early 1920s. However, this was later found to have been a lie. Investigations by the Linnean Society of London, a research institute specialising in taxonomy and natural history, revealed that Mitchell Hedges actually purchased his skull at auction at Sotheby's in London in 1943. How it came to be at the auction house, however, was never established, which is unfortunate because the Mitchell Hedges skull, according to Walsh's scrupulous examination, is the only one she has ever had to reluctantly confirm as an authentic crystal skull. What's more, it is the only academically accepted original known within the public archives.
Look at the skull
Smaller than other examples, which under microscope analysis were seen to have been made using rotary drills, the Mitchell Hedges skull is a more finely crafted, yet more crudely designed example that under the atomic microscope has shown signs of having indeed been an ancient pre-Columbian artifact, which sure enough was constructed using, quote, unknown technology. There are of course many examples of crystal skulls around the world, and many more stories surrounding their mysterious construction. Elongated examples, stories of groups of these skulls initiating some form of energy field. Ancient laser cutting technology has also been claimed time and time again. However, we felt we would approach them from another angle, to experience the rare occasion when modern, specifically funded academic institutes buckle to overwhelming evidence, proofs given by the defeated skeptic to those who pursue nothing but the perplexing truth and a direction for study. Made from a single piece of quartz crystal, Mitchell's Skull of Doom is unquestionably an exquisite example of an unknown history here upon our planet. Regardless of beliefs, or indeed the superstitions which now surround them, there are a rare few which support the theory of lost civilization and ancient visitation.
This skull is much smaller than many and crudely carved, leading museum scholars here to believe that in a world of fakes, this one is the real thing.
The Great Pyramids, although undoubtedly one of the greatest ancient sites upon Earth, many feel that when these enigmatic structures are one day inevitably deciphered and their subsequent significance realized, this importance to the development of man will utterly eclipse that which has already been unraveled here upon our planet.
I hope I'm around for that, bro. Especially if some of the things we've been looking up and some of the theories or conspiracy theories surrounding it are actually true. Oh, man, I hope I'm around for that day.
It is a site that we predict will encounter numerous astonishing discoveries that will undoubtedly be played down or discredited by mainstream academia and media alike. Interestingly, however, regardless of our suspicions, an international research group's finds have seemingly been shared worldwide by the same organizations we so often find ourselves here upon our channel accusing of conspiracy. This research team apparently applied methods of theoretical physics to the site in an effort to investigate the electromagnetic response of the Great Pyramids to radio waves, in an exercise reminiscent of those which unraveled astonishing characteristics of the Bosnian pyramids, has produced results that, predictably, since their discovery, scientists have stated were supposedly predicted under certain resonance conditions. They now state that the pyramid was predicted to concentrate electromagnetic energy in its internal chambers, and
Didn't Nikola Tesla say that as well? Or didn't he was the one that came up with that, if I can recall? I think it was Nikola Tesla. I don't know, I'm gonna have to go back and look that one up, but I think it was him.
Under the base. This supposed initial prediction was made regardless of the fact that not a single claim to these events had ever been made within a single thesis funded by academia. Conveniently, this research group plans to use the theoretical results to design nanoparticles capable of reproducing similar effects in the optical range. Such nanoparticles may be used to develop sensors and highly efficient solar cells. The study was published in the Journal of Applied Physics. It seems to us that those in control of the production lines of mankind are seemingly aware of the technological prowess of the Great Pyramids, yet appear to be suppressing such discoveries in favor of financial control. In other words, the people who have permitted the release of these finds are the same people controlling the flow of information and technological development of our species. Quote, "The Egyptian pyramids have always attracted great attention. We as scientists were interested in them as well, so we decided to look at the Great Pyramid as a particle dissipator of radio waves resonantly. Due to the lack of information about the physical properties of the pyramid, we had to use some assumptions. For example, we assumed that there are no unknown cavities inside, and the building material had the properties of an ordinary limestone, evenly distributed in and out of the pyramid. With these assumptions made, we obtained interesting results that can find important practical applications," says Dr. S.C. Andrei Evluchin, scientific supervisor and coordinator of the research. "We feel the research is dubious, not only due to the fact that it has been shared within the same mainstream media, who we feel have for a long time been funded to tell an entirely different story, but also due to the attempted conviction that there are no chambers left to be uncovered within the pyramid. Is there something within the pyramid?"
So let me get this straight. You think it's people out there that are funded, just funded to tell us lies, to steer us away from the truth? Doesn't sound too far-fetched to me.
Pyramid that, no matter how hard certain powers try, they cannot seem to hide? Is this the reason for this conclusion and subsequent research being so widely covered? We find the discovery and subsequent coverage to be highly suspicious.
I'm suspicious of everything. I'm suspicious of everything. And the fact that you could even plant that in some, or tell me that there could be possible groups out there that are just paid. Their sole purpose is just to steer us away from the truth. That's insane. That's crazy, man. But this is the world we live in, man. The world of manipulation. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you thought of these videos. And don't forget, man, we got to continue to unplug people out of the matrix. So hit that like button. #unplugged in the comment section. And stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.